Howdy, folks. I'm Brian.
I'm Amber.
Happy Tuesday, and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for free bleeding in my husband's car to make a point after he replaced my tampons with toothpicks as a prank?
Nope, not the jerk.
Amber's like, Nope, yeah, we're fine here. I'm a 24-year-old female, and my husband is a 27-year-old male, and he likes to joke a lot. He can be really annoying with his jokes and pranks, but at least he never went over the line until recently. We planned a 2-day road trip with his best friend and his girlfriend. I was on my period, so I packed my tampon box for later use and put it in our essentials bag that we shared one bag of since it wasn't a long trip. Well, on our first stop to get some food and drinks and to use the restroom, I opened up the bag to get my tampon box so I could change it, but once I opened it, I saw toothpicks instead of tampons. I knew that my husband had something to do with it. I was so upset I started yelling at him right outside the car. He started laughing and I yelled at him again, saying that those tampons were essential for me and that he put me in a really terrible situation for no reason. He laughed more and then sarcastically said, Well, toothpicks are also essential. I lost it on him even louder. Then he tried to calm me down and said that it was no big deal and asked his friend's girlfriends for some pads for me to use. She said that she had some that she keeps with her, but I refused to take them and instead got back inside the car and let myself free bleed. He freaked out from outside, first begging me to use the pads and then started demanding that I use them or get out of the car because I was ruining the seat. I told him off and said that he shouldn't have touched my tampons in the first place. He said that it was a joke, but I asked what would have happened if his friend's girlfriend didn't even have pads. He had no answer to that. I then told him to deal with it. He threw a fit and accused me of starting drama on purpose and ruining the road trip. I ignored him and stayed in my seat. He then got in the car and turned around, calling off the entire trip and shouting at me, saying that it was all because of me. He dropped his friend and the girlfriend off, yelled at me in the car, saying that I was a freaking child for doing this and ruining the trip for him and our friends. We got home and then he ranted about how I ruined his passenger seat and demanded that I deal with it because none of this would have happened if I had worn the pads while I was offered the alternative. Am I the jerk for trying to prove my point after the prank that he pulled on me? I get that I might have messed up and I could just have took the pads and let it go, but I felt very humiliated and disrespected by him. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, get a new husband.
So this is such a odd situation. And really, like, this is unique in a lot of ways. I know that kind of OP was really upset, but I'm kind of curious. Like, a lot of gas stations will have like essentials and whatnot, so I was just kind of curious if he had anticipated that too, potentially, or if it was
Well, it
just
sounds like he was, when she asked him, he had no idea.
yeah. So, I mean, I certainly understand where OP's coming from here. I don't really fault OP in the least, and I think that like if he's getting going overboard with these pranks a lot, and it sounds like this is the first time he's gone overboard with these pranks in general. It just sounds like he's an annoying person. So I think that OP, like, if you're getting fed up with this, and it sounds like you're getting fed up with this, then maybe potentially he has a hard time like seeing the fault in his ways. Then I don't know, maybe this is something that needed to be done or not. I think really at the end of the day, OP, you're really the only person who can determine whether or not this was like the appropriate course of action. I certainly would have a hard time blaming you here because I think that he did embarrass you and he did humiliate you, and I would really feel bad for you in that respect. Maybe you were just, it also like a lot of people want to keep their period secret, right? They don't want to necessarily broadcast it to the world, and he went ahead and broadcasted this to the world. And who's to say that your friend's girlfriend would have even had enough pads for you to get through a trip? Because sometimes people will pack them for emergency sakes, but they aren't necessarily like well stocked on them either.
Yeah, when people have brand preferences and stuff like that too, OP might prefer tampons to pads. Like,
Yeah.
it's like taking the toilet paper from someone's bathroom.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I understand that. But every single time I've like stolen people's toilet paper from their bathrooms, they get very frustrated and upset about it, and I'm just like, it's just a prank. But yeah, so I'm just kidding. All right, so let me know what you folks think. I'm really curious what you all will have to say on this one. I'm of two minds, but I really am leaning towards OP not being a jerk in this situation. So let
I'm
me
of
know what
only
you
one
think.
mind, and I think this is the perfect revenge for this guy.
So anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. Your husband is absolutely clueless and has no concept or understanding of what he did to you. For men, taking someone's menstrual products when they need them is on par with forcing someone to uh, poop themselves in public. It's absolutely humiliating and dehumanizing. It isn't funny and it isn't harmless. And it sure isn't something that you do to someone you care about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All of this, he tried to humiliate her. I absolutely do not blame OP for free bleeding in his car to make a point. He needed a wake up call. This one just happened to be bloody. Not the jerk. Pranks are supposed to be funny. And his was absolutely not. This sounds more like he pranked you to laugh at you rather than laugh with you. Seriously, like if he wanted to be a prank, first of all, he would have still been the jerk, but he should have at least packed them with them
Mm-hmm.
so that she would still have them after the prank was revealed. Seriously, what was he planning to do next if the other woman didn't have pads? I hate pranksters because most of the time they don't know what a prank is actually supposed to be. Not the jerk, OP, your husband is a jerk. And I think that's actually a really valid point there, too. Like, why didn't he pack the tampons anyways? Like, this is such, like, poor foresight into the situation that is just ridiculous. Our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for refusing to give my husband my new Wi-Fi password? My husband is a 30-year-old male and I'm a 32-year-old female, and we're going through some financial struggles right now. The reason for it is because my husband has lost his job. He didn't earn much money anyways, working in retail, being overworked and underpaid. So he said the reason that he lost his job was because of his narcissist boss. Money is tight and the load fell on me completely to provide for us and pay for everything including Wi-Fi. He promised me that he would look for a job though. My husband started spending most of his time on his phone. I kept asking him if he was looking for a job, and he said yes, but it's been 3 months now. And I grew suspicious because retail jobs aren't easy to find. On the other hand, I found myself paying so much towards Wi Fi services because of his endless activities on the internet. I didn't say anything till I ran into his former boss at the supermarket. We talked about my husband and I brought up how he fired him, but he looked at me confused and told me that he didn't fire him. My husband quit on his own will after giving him a long rant about how sick and tired he was of working retail and that he will never work in this field again. I was shocked and also fuming. I went home and confronted him. He admitted that it was true and asked me to understand because he was fed up with having to work as a server for rude, obnoxious people who didn't respect him the way they should. I asked what he was going to do, and then he said that he's been thinking of going back to school and earn a respectable degree and work a decent job. I asked where he would get the money to go back to school, and he shrugged and said that I could start a fund for him with my salary because, like he said, he will no longer work retail. I lost it at him and told him that I wouldn't save money for anything when I can barely manage. Oh, and by the way, I told him that I was losing so much money on Wi Fi services, so I changed the password prohibiting him from using the internet again until he starts helping to pay for it. He got mad and shouted about how I was robbing him of his rights to use the internet, but I stated that the internet privilege is not a right, and he called me selfish and unsupportive. I left for work, and he kept calling me and telling me to give up the password, but I kept refusing. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Mostly not the jerk.
Mostly not the jerk. So, I think that this one's a difficult situation
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways, and I think that he should be able to be looking for a job, and it sounds like he's just not interested in finding a job. Like, if he was sick and tired of his job, then he should have been more straightforward with OP and explained to her the situation and asked her to give him some time to decompress and find a new job. I think that there might have been some reasonable ground to approach with that. But forcing OP to basically foot the bill for everything at a certain point, that's just, not what a good partner would do if you're having like these kind of financial struggles where, one person is where your household is basically hanging on by a thread, right? No savings for emergencies, nothing like that, right? So, I can't blame OP for being frustrated at all, and I don't know that this is in the United States because like paying for the Wi-Fi, I'm not sure exactly where they would be paying for Wi-Fi at, and I think that's just still kind of superfluous towards the story anyways. And why his cell phone, maybe his cell phone doesn't have data as well, I don't really know. But there are some odd bits here that that make it difficult to know because if he's not in the United States, then I don't know if he has a way of going to like a library or something like that. I mean, I'm sure other places have public libraries with hopefully internet. So hopefully he has some way of accessing a job board or whatnot because you need the internet oftentimes to even look for jobs nowadays. So that does make it even more difficult for him. So let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, but what a bad marriage. Are you sure you want to be married to an entitled, lying man you have resorted to treating like a toddler? So instead of red flags, this person's offering marinara flags. Not the jerk, but you have a bigger problem than a password. Alright, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have water today. I won't make you guess. I know I have my guesses up here, but I lied.
I have nothing.
Amber is apparently out of water. What did the Dutch mother do with her child before dinner? She washed her hands. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
What would that be? Friday, Juniors, Eve, Juniors?
Thursday is Friday Junior, so Wednesday will be Friday Junior, Junior, so Tuesday will be Friday Junior, Junior, Junior.
No, Thursday is Friday Junior.
Uh-huh.
Wednesday is Friday Junior's Eve.
So it'll be Friday Junior's Eve, Eve.
It would be Friday Junior's Eve Junior.
No, Eve, Eve, or Friday Junior, Junior, Eve, or something like that.
Friday Junior Eve? I'll have to ask people what they think Tuesday is.